Bill Cameron with The Drive on ESPN 106.7. Coach, just try to explain to laymen what the differences are going to look like offensively.
I think there'll be a lot of similarities, to be honest with you. I think our approach moving forward is going to be to really kind of set the foundation for the run game. I think we got some really talented backs, and we'll start from there. And then we'll kind of grow, kind of see where it goes from there. But that's going to be really the foundation where we start to the run game. So, but differences, you won't see a ton. I think probably more of a pro style approach this year. Again, just given the depth and the strength we have at the running back position right now.
Mark?
Yeah, Mark Murphy from inside Auburn Tigers. Could you talk about the wide receivers this spring, what you'd like to see from them, and are you going to have to do some workarounds because you don't seem to have a whole lot of, say, run a lot of 4 wide receiver sets or 5 wide receiver sets?
Yeah, we'll keep that to more 2 and 3 receiver sets for that reason. And then really just taking the good thing about spring is you're not playing a game. So it's really been more fundamentals and developing and make sure they have a good understanding of the system. And then as we go through spring, we'll kind of find out, hey, who are those 3 or 4 guys that can play, or maybe 5 guys that can really help contribute. And then you have the kids coming in and then fall camp, the young kids coming in, the 2 freshmen. So both of them together, we'll find a combination of those 4 or 5 receivers. Now they might be young, but they'll be talented. And I'm actually excited about that. I know we keep saying it's not a lot of depth, it's true. I think that the kids we do have here now, they do have some talent, and they're very different in their own way. It's very impressive. You can watch these kids on film, but you really don't know what they're about until you get to know them as people, because they're work. I'm talking about the young kids coming in, their work ethic and their drive and their intelligence and the level of influence they have on the game is really, really good. They're beyond their years of most freshmen coming in.
Brian?
Hey, Brian Stoltz, AuburnSports.com. Can you talk about the transition for Lennon King from tight end to wide receiver and what goes into that?
Well, he's just such a great athlete, and I think we're kind of using him at both spots. And to be honest with you, he's just such a good athlete. He can run. Is he big enough to put his hand down on the ground and block these DNs in this league? Probably not yet, But is he athletic enough to put him out? We are a little bit thin at receiver, but he still use a really good athlete. So we're going to kind of use them both. We still want to develop him as a tight end, but then his strength for us moving forward will be definitely maybe as an extended receiver, a bigger body inside, or you get a linebacker or even a nickel who's going to try to play a bigger body like that. We can create that advantage.
Tom?
TomRadio.com. Just kind of going back to the receivers, obviously you spent a lot of time with those guys last year. How big was it for Shedrick to come back for another year and to get Javarius Happy and Portal early in the spring?
Yeah, I think both those guys was a huge advantage for us because, like we were talking earlier, the receiver position is going to be fairly young. So you got Shedrick back there who's kind of the old senior guy. And, we talked about him kind of being the glue to kind of keep everybody together because he has that kind of leadership quality because he's just an older guy. He does have experience. He's caught balls in big games. So I think that's good. And then obviously Barr, excited about him because, he did have a lot of explosive pass touchdowns last year. I think he only had like 12, 14 catches overall, but those few catches they did have, he showed his explosiveness to be able to get downfield, and we need that. So I'm excited to get him back, continue to develop him, put a little weight on him, kind of see where he goes, and continue to get better.
Jason?
Jason Caldwell inside Auburn Tigers. Just kind of quarterback situation. You got 5 guys, and it's a walk-ons that are getting reps. So how difficult is that to kind of maneuver? And when would you like to get it down to a more workable number? You try to do that by the spring.
Yeah, you don't really put a timeline on it. I know that's kind of a generic answer, but you really don't. And I will say that all these quarterbacks are getting evaluated on everything they're doing. It's not just what you see in a team session. It's going to be team sessions. It's going to be 7-on-7 session. It's in one-on-ones. It's everything they're doing because we need the maximum amount of information to make a great decision when it comes to time to pick the starter. So I'm excited about it. I know sometimes I was like, oh man, you got so many guys. Well, that's a good thing because let's just say you got 3 really good ones. Well, if they're all, at the end of the day, they're all competing against each other. Well, that guy is going, whew, that guy behind me is pretty good. I better stay sharp, stay on the game, get completions. So it's going to kind of help everybody out in that room because I do believe competition brings out the best at any position, but it'll be more evident at the quarterback position.
Nick?
Nathan King, Auburn Recruiting. What were the conversations like with Coach Harsin when the OC job came back open, and how do you kind of see you guys putting your offensive kind of mindsets together?
That's the beauty of me coming from Boise and have worked with Coach Harsin in the past. I kind of know the direction and kind of his core beliefs and what we want to do offensively and the direction we want to go. It's not necessarily going to be two different philosophies. It's more just going to be me kind of putting it all together and kind of moving forward as things we kind of did in Boise. And also we're going to grow and on that as well and continue to add and implement new things that we need to implement to help the personnel we have here, because the personnel is very different, obviously. But I think you'll see a lot of the similarities, and I think that's why it was an easy transition from going from receivers to the coordinator position with Coach Harsh, because we do have that background.
Justin first.
Justin Ferguson, Auburn Observer. We heard a lot about Tavares Dawson last fall camp, saw him a little bit of the ball game, and we've heard Harsin talk about him again earlier in the week. What have you seen from him, especially heading into his second season here with the team?
I said out of all the receivers, he probably made the biggest jump in improvement from when he first got here to now. He is extremely talented. He's just very, very raw. I think when he continues to learn the position and learn all the details of route running and releases and the things he'll need to do, I think he could be really, really special. So is he there yet? No. Is he working toward it? Absolutely, and he's definitely getting better. Even in the first day. In the first day, you can tell when someone spent some time on their own studying the playbook and know the play just by how you carry yourself and you break the huddle. Am I going left? Am I going right? Hey, I got a route. What's my depth to it? Where last year you were just swimming, trying to figure it out on the fly. Where now he looked more at ease. He looked more dialed, if that makes sense, into the offense and what we're doing. So I'm excited to continue to grow him and see where he goes moving forward, because he could be a lot of fun to watch.
Rex.
Hey, Coach, Rex Castillo with WRBL up here.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for Tank Bigsby? He's been such a dangerous weapon for this offense for the past 2 seasons. Now he's heading into his junior year. What are your expectations for him?
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot to be honest with you. And I've had conversations with him about that. I've actually had conversations from the whole offense about that. Like I said, we're going to start this thing with a downhill physical run game. We're going to come after you, and that starts with those guys in the backfield. And obviously, Tank in the forefront of that. And I'm excited about it. I think you need to have a foundation. You need to have put your feet on something, and Tank is a big part of that. And I'm excited about it. We're going to do some things differently to kind of fit his running style. We put a lot of hours in studying some NFL teams, kind of what they've been doing, and Coach Brandon, Coach Bedell, myself, and kind of all of us really, to put ourselves in the best situation, what's going to fit Tank's style of running and how we can do that. And so I'm excited to see where he goes. He's going to be a big part of what we're doing.
Bennett.
Hey, Eric, Bennett Graham, Montgomery advertiser. But what have you sort of seen from Zach Calzada since he's gotten to campus, just and how he sort of has meshed into that whole quarterback?
Yeah. He just has this kind of quiet confidence about him. He doesn't really say much, but when he does, it's very thoughtful, it's very thorough, and because he's been in a college program before. He's been around some really good college coaches, to be honest with you. So his level of intelligence, it's there, and then now we just got to kind of build on that. So it's really just more just his presence. He's, like I said, very thorough, very thoughtful, a lot of information, and we just got to get that to translate and playing.
Jason.
Eric, just because of the running game, we talk about kind of leaning on that. How much more valuable then does it make to have that big tight end group that coming back with some confidence and kind of putting those two things together?
100%, and they're going to go together for sure. Because again, that's probably another strength of our offense is that position, and we will do that. We'll use them in the run game, we'll use them in play action, we'll use them any way we can. We'll get creative with those guys as well, because I think it's very hard. It's very hard when you're one-dimensional on offense, and everybody knows this. So if you have a good running game, you can load the box, stop the run. If you have a good pass game, you drop everybody off into coverage, and you can cover them all. But when you have a dynamic tight end group and running backs and a smart quarterback, if they're gonna soften up a little bit, we're gonna run the ball. If they want to load the box and stop the run, then we're gonna throw the ball. So it's a good combination to have, to where you can kind of balance your run, your pass, and your play action, kind of put them all together.
Oh.
Justin Hutchinson, Auburn Live. Just kind of talk about what it's been like the last year or so, and coming in with Harsin in the beginning and moving the receivers, and now you're OC, and everything happened quick. Just kind of, what has it been like, and now what's the, pressure, not pressure, of being OC in the SEC?
I will say, you know, when I got here to where I am now, that evolution, how it all happened, it's an exciting time. It really is, you know, and I hope people see, everybody can say a lot of words, they can say a lot of things, but you look at people's actions. And so for me coming from Boise State as the offense coordinator, now coming here as an analyst, so you basically went from one of the top guys in the program to really coming as a bottom entry level guy. If that doesn't show people that I believe in the vision and the structure and what we're doing as a program from Brian Harsin, because everybody can say it, but I actually showed it, you know, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back at all, but I'm saying that's how much I believe in this program, that's how much I believe in Coach Harsin, I believe in his vision, I believe in what we're doing. I think we've made a lot of strides this last year, and so that's a big, it's just a big tell on how I made that transition, and then making the transition and things gonna happen the way they did, you really just gotta roll with it. And I know it's kind of a generic term, but you really do. I mean, I'm literally sitting in the analyst chair, and then boom, game 4, boom, now you're in the receiver chair, and then you go through the season, and you're actually in the offensive coordinator chair. I mean, and I do have a lot of experience over the years, over 20 years, so making that transition wasn't very difficult, especially because I knew the system, I knew the terminology, I knew the coaches. So I don't want to say it was a natural progression, but it was a progression we can handle well.
We're gonna take 2 or 3 more. Mark?
Yeah, with the quarterbacks, any plans to make them live at all during the spring? And how much contact would you guys like to have with the spring for the whole team?
Yeah, we're gonna manage that really well. We have to really be smart. So what we have talked about is we're gonna try to just do some more drills, even 7-on-7. We're gonna create a little confusion for them and maybe get physical with them, maybe try to bump into them a little bit where, you know, we kind of simulate kind of sitting in the pocket. Because we really don't want to get them hit, especially in spring right now. Now maybe fall camp, get closer to the games, maybe, and we'll get some of those opportunities in the scrimmage situations as well. Again, just where that pocket kind of closes in on, right? It's easy when you're just sitting back there and you know you're not going to get hit, you throw the ball, and it's very comfortable. So we were just talking about the other day, we got to make these comfortable situations uncomfortable for the quarterback now to kind of train their body, train their mind to be able to play at a high level with those guys all around you. So we're going to drill it, we're going to be smart about it, and then we'll obviously progress more as fall camp goes on.
Nathan, did you have one?
Eric, I know that you guys probably knew a lot of their decisions before they were made public, but I guess just over the course of that month when one offensive lineman after another decided to come back to the team, I guess how much does that boost you guys in the spring, especially with having a quarterback back?
I went from this to this to this, shoulder back, feeling a lot better. It's just because, like I said, we're talking about a run game. Well, it starts with those guys up front. So each addition we got when they said they were coming back, it was awesome. And Coach Friend did a great job of just kind of mentoring those guys, kind of selling the vision and kind of what we want to do. And also it's a big tell as well. We're talking about me moving up to the coordinator spot. That's a big tell for the players that are on the team going through this, and they stay and they want to come back. They easily could have gone a different direction. They easily could have gone and I'm going to hang it up and not play anymore and start life. So that's a big tell too. We have the right guys and we have all the arrows going in the right direction from our players to our staff to the head coach to everybody right now kind of moving in the right direction. We got to capitalize on that and have some success doing it.
Last one, Bennett.
Yeah, just talking about that whirlwind year for you, did Brian have to convince you at all to make that move as an analyst, or what was sort of his pitch to you as you sort of came?
It was a lot of, at that point, when I was at Boise getting ready to make the transition move here, there were a lot of just conversations between myself and Coach Harsin, very private conversations, and I think, and nothing bad, nothing negative, just because it's a hard transition to make, but like I said, I mean, if you really dig in, you really get to know what Coach Harsin's all about as a person, as a father, as a head coach, as a human being. You want to be a part of that. And again, it's not coaches speak. That's, like I said, it shows from my actions of being here. And if you believe in something and you think you can do it, you fast forward a year from now I'm sitting here at the podium doing what I've always wanted to do, it works out. You align yourself with good people and good things will happen. And I really believe that.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
got it.
Appreciate it.